So you want to start a mental health private practice and you keep hearing everyone talk about it, but you're like, how much does that actually cost? Don't worry. In this video, we're going to break down how much I pay to start up my private practice and go through what you need versus what you actually don't need. Hi, my name is Shan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a licensed mental health therapist, private practice owner, and digital creator. If you are new here, as I like to say, come on in, come on in. Thank you for tuning in to today's video. If you are not new here, welcome back. I make videos every single week for my mental health professionals, for my therapists, growing your career, building a private practice, expanding your private practice, anything you can think of, we have it right here on this channel. If you like this video today, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so I can keep dropping videos every single week just for you. So you want to start a private practice, but you don't really know how much you should save or how much it's going to cost to start up this private practice. So I got my notes right here and we're going to go through exactly what I paid for when I started my private practice. When I started my private practice, I wrote everything down, literally line item by line item, everything I needed to do and how much everything cost. So let's walk through. And I do want to make a couple disclaimers. So this is going to vary state by state. This is going to vary based off of where you live because as we know, prices is not the same. Insurance prices may not be the same. Getting your LLC may not be the same. It is definitely going to vary. And also, I started off virtual. So we can kind of review what a brick and mortar, how much based off of my colleagues that I know have a brick and mortar, how much that will cost. But if you feel like you can start off virtual and you don't have a high demand for in-person, start that way and then move your way to in-person or getting an office. But you got to start somewhere, or you can just start off with your brick and mortar. That's fine too. I just wanted to put that out there so you are aware. So the realistic cost breakdown, let's start with what any business will start with. So you have to start with getting that business structure. So that LLC here in Ohio is $99 for your LLC. If you're somewhere else, that may be different, but that's obviously the first thing you have to start with. Getting that LLC, you can start with your website and stuff, but the LLC is something you have to pay for. So mark down just that $99 or whatever the cost is for your LLC where you are that you will have to pay for. I also got a virtual mailing address and I pay about $35 a month for my virtual mailing address. It can be cheaper than that, but I think I got like the premium one or something where they actually give you an office building rather than shipping your things to somewhere random. Like I said, I am virtual, so I need a mailing address to put on all of the insurance documents or to give to clients if they need my address for any reason to send me something. And then that virtual address I get sent to my home. And then once you have those things, you need liability insurance. Now, this is the part that I said may vary. So it would depend on if you're brick and mortar or if you are virtual, because brick and mortar, you have things like slip and fall and you have other things that need to go into your liability insurance. But my liability insurance was about $370, $60 for the full year. So they do make most insurance companies, and this may be different depending on the insurance companies, but from my experience, they make you pay that up front. So I pay that every year for the full year. So that is an expense that you need to account for because we need liability insurance. You need to cover yourself in case of a incident or case of an accident that happens as you're performing this job. So that is an expense that you need to consider. And some other little things like a professional email and also a HIPAA compliant email, and also a HIPAA compliant phone system. So for my email, I pay about 10 to 15 bucks. And then for my phone system each month, for my phone system, I pay about $25 to $35. It depends on if you add a user or if you don't have a user. So those are kind of like the basic foundational things that you need to get to start your private practice. And of course, if you have a brick and mortar, you need that first month rent and then that deposit. So depending on where you are and how much a commercial building is, here I would say you can roughly look to pay, if you're just having one office space just for you, probably between $800 to $1,200 a month here in Ohio, depending on your location. So having that first month's rent and then the deposit is normally what that first month rent is, but it's commercial, so the deposit may be a little bit higher for you. So keep that into account. And I'm going to go through at the end, we're going to kind of like round things up so we can get a good estimate of how much all of these things are. But those are your front end costs. So those foundational costs that you need in order to start up your private practice. And please, if I'm missing something, don't come at me like I'm trying. I got my list and I'm doing the best that I can. But if you pay for things, those are probably things that if you're watching this video and you've already started a private practice, those are probably things that you pay for, but it's not necessarily something that everyone needs, like those core foundational things. So I want you to keep that in mind. Next, after we get the front end costs out the way, then we move on to like the marketing and the websites and all of those things that you need for your private practice. So for those things, for the marketing and for your website, you can build your website yourself, right? Like you can you can pay for a subscription on like Squarespace. I don't know how much Squarespace is, maybe like $25 a month or so, and go on there and build it. Or you can have someone build it for you. Now, if you have someone build it for you, you're probably going to be paying a pretty penny. I would say around, websites are not easy, and you're going to find out it's not easy when you build yours yourself. You'll probably pay around $1,000 or so. So if that's something you want someone to build out for you, go ahead. If that's maybe not an initial investment you want to make, an investment you want to make down the road, that's fine too. And you can build your website, like I said, on Wix or Squarespace. But that is an expense you're going to have to think about paying now or paying later. Then we get into the marketing piece. So your marketing platforms like your Psychology Todays, your Therapy Den, your Therapy for Black Girls. I would probably pick about 2, max 3 marketing platforms to be on at one time. 3 may be pushing it a little, but about 2 to 3. And those can range between $25 to $35 as well. So that's going to be a monthly recurring expense until you're kind of full or you're on a wait list. But that's a very important expense. Or you can use social media, free marketing, put your content out there. I'm just going to throw that in. You guys know I love teasing you guys about that because we are sometimes so scared to put ourselves out there, because I once was. I know it's a learning curve. So once we got the marketing and the website, now we need to look at the systems and the software. So you got the phone, you got the email address, you got those things where clients can communicate with you on. You need your EHR now. So you need that EHR. So I use Simple Practice, and I'll also drop my affiliate link for Simple Practice down in the description so you can get a couple months free. Anything you can get for free as you're building up this private practice and as you're going on this journey. But that's usually between $70 to $110 a month. I have the top plan, which is like $110 a month, but you don't need that plan. I have that because I have an admin, I have other people inside. Some of the features I wanted that wasn't given on the lower plan, but I did start off with the lower plan and then I upgraded. So just go through the plans and see which one works best for you. And when we also think about software, we need to think about our finances each month. So getting something like QuickBooks or Waves and to be able to manage your finances throughout the month. That's important. We don't think about the finances until it's too late, but these are non-negotiable. Sorry to tell you. Then we kind of go into the branding plus the extra stuff. So I invested in professional headshots. Get professional headshots so you can look professional. Professional headshots, business cards, maybe a video, creating a video. You can really create that yourself. And any other like trainings or treatment modalities you want to get as you're stepping out on your own. Of course, this is not a necessity, especially if you already have them, because you're probably trained in something with your jobs. But if you want additional things that you want to kind of spend your income on or write off as a business expense, you can do that. And as you grow your private practice, that's when you'll start thinking about in the later stages, hiring an admin. Hiring an admin, I talk about this a lot, but I think this is a key component in being able to build something sustainable and something where all of your time and energy isn't just focused on communicating with clients or one-to-one sessions. That admin takes a lot off your load. Now, if you want to hire someone who can help you with billing, that's great. If you want to just hire someone who can help you with client communication, phone, emails, rescheduling, those type of things, like that's amazing because that adds up. That takes a lot of your time, but that's a later cost. That's something to get into later. And that can range depending on where you're hiring that person, but start off part-time and then grow grow from there. And as I mentioned, that virtual versus in-person. So the in-person, you're going to have to pay for your brick and mortar. The virtual is a little bit easier to get started, not as much upfront costs. Most therapists are shocked when they like just see the thing, like you don't barely need a lot compared to a lot of businesses, and the upfront costs that they have to have. It's really like nothing for us, if I'm being honest. I was like, oh, this is all I got to pay, because I had a business before this where I had to pour a lot of money into it. So it's not much, and we're service-based, so we keep majority of our profit. Our profit margins are higher. So if you want to start that private practice, those are kind of some of your initial costs. I feel like I started my private practice maybe $1,000 to $1,500. I did have the advantage because my fiance, he's in marketing, he does websites and stuff. He was able to build my website, but if I didn't have him, I probably would have done it myself at first and then hired someone when I started to make some money. Putting that website together yourself, and you can also create a website on Simple Practice, and that makes it a little bit easier for you as well. You don't get all the customization pieces and all of those things, but that is an option for you and that you have at your fingertips. So I would say I probably paid about $1,000 to $1,500 to start my private practice. Now you have a brick and mortar, it can be double that, it can kind of be triple that, but we still have a very low cost to get started and to get into this field. If I am missing anything and you have kind of some things that I may be missing, just go ahead and leave them in the comments and I can give you the price range, because some things, of course, they may have not been on my list that I thought was on my list, or may have just kind of went past me and I didn't put it down on my list. But those are your initial get started prices. I hope you enjoyed today's video and I hope you found this very, very helpful. If you want help starting your private practice all the way from the beginning to the end, diversifying your income, going into these expenses a little more in depth, and really learning the ins and outs of starting a private practice, go ahead and check out my free training below. I will be happy to help you and to assist you further. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on next week's video.